All right, so we are officially live for another edition of Sunday Market Outlook. It is December 15, 2024, and I got my co-host, Mr. Brent Badal, in the building here with me. Shout out to you guys if you're watching this recording, whether it's in the chats, YouTube, etc. We are super excited to have you here as well as the live audience with us tonight. And with that said, I'm gonna let Brent do his thing and kick us off.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Of course. Yeah. Congrats, guys, for being here because it means a lot. Obviously, if you're watching the recording, I get it because you guys are in another part of the world. It's understandable. But for those who are here, congratulations for sure for you guys because it means a lot, not just for us, but for yourself, of course, just showing how you are locked in and ready. And this week, we have an amazing week for news. I'm very excited. Because you guys know that I love trading news, but I always speak about the times, right? If you've been here before, you know I say, hey, it's really good when we have news at a specific time. Always, as always, remember the news don't fall for the smoke. The candles don't lie. We follow our strategies. We go for it. We just know that news, we need to take advantage of that volume that's happening at that time. So here we could see Sunday. Of course, as we know, today's Sunday. There's never really news. Rarely do we see news on Sunday, so nothing to worry about there. Heading over to tomorrow, Monday, right? We already have news right away on a Monday. As you know, I don't really trade much Monday. Sometimes here and there, I'll see a trade alert. I know Rich likes to send a trade alert too here now and then. So we will have volume tomorrow. So I'm really intrigued what's going to happen over London to see if we could shoot out some trade alerts tomorrow morning. We'll have the opening bell, and then right after the opening bell, 15 minutes later, we have the flash manufacturing, flash services PMI. Good news, strong volume. And of the other news from the world, not that it correlates directly, but sometimes we do see a little bit of it, or like it could help. We have a lot of Euro news, a lot of Canadian news, and all that type of news is all business related too. So it's going to be interesting, of course, to see right away starting off the week pretty strong with the news side of things. Tuesday, happy for Tuesday because we have, as we know, our 7:30. We typically see 7:30 Central Standard Time. We have our big push, right, for gold and for NAS. And they're up or down, but it likes to put a big movement there. So we have that happening 7:30. We have the core retail sales and retail sales. Great. 8:15, capacity utilization, industrial production. That one's interesting too. 8:30 our bell, and then we go off at 9 housing. So this one here is just a fact of, like I've said, for months now, right? Broken record. Housing will always be a leading indicator for recession. I'll let you know where we are at in that point. And right now, the housing market is very weird. Like selling a lot, or not selling a lot. Like it's very, yeah, there's not like a typically when we see a housing market, it's like it's a seller's market, it's a buyer's market. It's very mixed right now. So I think a lot of people are obviously waiting for new terms to come in, politics, all that good stuff, waiting for a percentage drop. So it's really interesting just to see where that is. So I'll be paying attention to that. Not to trade it, but I'll be paying attention just to kind of see what numbers come up from that. Wednesday. Wednesday's probably one of my between Wednesday and Thursday right now, and I'll tell you why, right? Wednesday, I'm excited, probably one of my better days. 7:30 building permits, current account, housing starts, bam, right away. 8:30 our opening bell, 9:30 crude oil inventories, and then 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. If nobody's live at that time, as long as I'm not overlapping anybody in English on akashx, I will go live on akashx trading the federal fund rates. So we'll trade federal fund rates, FOMC economic projections, FOMC statements. Our buddy Powell will come out, say what he has to say, but at the same time, we have federal fund rate. That's what makes it really interesting. That's why there's just some really big movements happening here. Like I've always said, news will just say, hey, the market wants to go from here, and the market already knows it wants to be here or here. It's just going to take them time, right? And news will take it really fast. Or on the other side, there might have been already a rally one way and it's pretty far away and there's a lot of liquidity trapped down there. Well, it could be a quick swipe. So as long as nobody's live at that time, I will be going live 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday to trade that. Super excited for that. So that's why it's like Wednesday is kind of a favorite day, but Thursday I think it's kind of the favorite day too. So it's a very mixed deal. So Thursday we have final GDP unemployment claims at 7:30. So unemployment claims has probably been one of my favorites now this year. It's gained so much. I mean, if you go back to these calls that we've had from January, unemployment claims was yellow, like nobody paid attention to it. And it's been progressing more and more to where it's at that almost status of a PMI CPI situation. So excited for that and at the time that it's happening. Because we have the final GDP, unemployment, final GDP price, Philly manufacturing, all at 7:30. Big move, strong. Then we have our opening bell move. Then 30 minutes later, existing home sales, CDD lending. Then we have natural gas. Then we have long-term purchasing. So it's like there's so much good news happening here for Thursday. That's why it's kind of a mixed situation between Wednesday and Thursday, what I'm liking more one versus the other. And then to close out the week, 7:30 again, big news, core PCE price, personal income, personal spending, and then revised consumer sentiment, revised inflations. So Friday, as you guys know, I don't trade much either, but with this set of news at the time that's happening, I wouldn't go live in particular, but I will be paying attention for a trade alert just because that news is really nice. And at that time, to fall through with all the news that happened this week. So exciting to see what the markets will do this week with all the news. Again, it's one of those good weeks that we've been waiting for a while now. For a while, we've had those like, oh, great, this news is amazing, but it's happening at 11. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like it needs to happen at that 7:30, 8:30. That 1 o'clock one is kind of off on the time, but there's four sets of news at that same time, and it's all strong. So that's why I'm excited for that one to happen. So we shall see. Just pay attention to the chats. I'll announce it there if I do go live or not at that time to trade that particular set of news live with you guys as a bonus session for the week. But that is it for me. Let's go to the chart switch. You are muted, bro.
That's better. I said, let's get it. And if you guys hear that Brent's doing a bonus session, especially for news trading, you already know where y'all gotta be. So looking forward to that as well, bro. FOMC has been very eventful these last couple go arounds for sure. I'm gonna share my screen here, guys, and we're gonna talk about gold first. We usually kick things off with gold. All right, so let's put a little gold here. All righty, here we go. So gold. Starting off on a daily time frame here, guys. We talked about the importance of how price would kind of react to these highs here, and we didn't see a very convincing push above these highs. In fact, we got a very strong rejection to the downside. Gold is in a weird spot. I'd say like right now, we're going to be pretty much wedged in between these two major price points right here. This is the daily time frame, so this is definitely like, on the higher side of what we're looking at. Now, the weekly time frame for last week did close bullish, technically. A very weak bullish week, but nonetheless still a bullish week. Typically, and I like that Brent used this vocabulary during his sessions. He talks about candle behavior. And I know that he has his own ways of, explaining that and whatever, but at least for me, like I've seen different types of candles, obviously with 6 years of trading, and sometimes, if we look at like a daily or 4 hour, we can easily be like, oh, well, we ended up, looking like we're melting down, etc. But overall, again, on the weekly time frame, we still ended up technically closing bullish because we started off here, worked our way up, closed here. So all that is to say that overall, I think that we kind of just look at where we're at in price is until we really break these lows, like clean break and close below here, we can't really say structure is bullish, right? Again, we had our, bearish kind of control during this entire leg. We started seeing early signs of bullishness closing above here, another close above here. And essentially price kind of, made its little pullback, sat around, ended up closing the week bullish, and now we're back to here. So the way I see it, because there's a lot of back and forth, is we had an extension, a pullback, an extension, a pullback, and I'm expecting another extension. Personally, that's the way I see price action right now. For gold, again, if we really look at what's like the last pullback area before this expansion, we're looking at this general area. Again, this is very high time frames that we're kind of looking at right here. So, this is going to be a range that is a lot of pips, but we always like to start with just kind of getting a bias, for the week, about direction, right? So what we would want to see is now when we drop to smaller time frames on like the 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, whatever the case is, now that we're in this type of pullback area, is we want to see price. I prefer actually for price to continue bearish a little bit and then to shift structure to be the indication that we want to come back up. But overall, I think as long as, again, we don't kind of break below these levels, overall, we can see a retracement back to the upside. It's been a while, obviously, that I haven't really been in the gold game, but again, I always like to at least give my 2 cents on at least the broader perspective of where we sit with gold. Obviously, Brent does send tap to trades. He does, involve himself more with this specific pair, so I'll let him always do the bulk of the talking and the analysis for gold. But that's the way I see it. I think overall, again, we've had our last little push. We've made this expansion. We're kind of coming back into those deeper retracement levels. And so if we can, expand again, that's what I would expect. But I'm gonna keep it simple from there. I'll let Brent kind of dive into gold a little bit better.
Yep, yep, yep. Well, gold last week was just not playing super nice with me last week. We went 2-2 on the tap the trades. We went, I think, 1-1 on the live sessions, and it just was not there. Like overall, it played out to what we wanted it to do. You know what I mean? Like ultimately, last week I said I wanted it to drop. I still need to see this 2450 still. Like I still want that to happen for the health of gold, for it to trade nicely. It needs to happen, but we're in a weird situation, just like we said last week, right? Technically, right now, gold should be bullish. December, January, gold likes to go through a bull rally. It's a supply demand situation, right? That's what I typically say, like the best time to buy gold or this and that, like typically is through these times just because of that supply demand to it. Now, it's a weird situation because what happened a few months ago in October, we had that huge rally. So it needs to correct, but at the same time, it wants to go up. So it's having that very confused mixed bag situation here that's happening. Now, the cool thing is that Bitcoin obviously is at its rise. Cryptos like to go up, Bitcoin likes to go up, gold likes to go up. They like to chase each other. It's never been a situation of one goes up and then the other. It likes to chase each other sometimes at that point. So that's like one good reason why gold could go up, right? We have housing through the news. We have those PMIs through the news. So a lot of the news that's happening right now, it's going to definitely determine the direction of gold. Like we don't fall for the smoke, right? I say that, but then there's that fine line that everything that we're talking about, all this news is going to factor in. Is the dollar powerful or not? And where's the projection to it? Where is it going? That's what I'm telling you. Housing is so important for that recession side of things, for same thing here on savings with gold, right? Is it going to be something worth holding or not at that point? Now, looking at the chart wise, just like what Rich said, right? Either we retest this change of character right here where we broke structure, retest it, stay above it, and come back for all of this. I mean, we literally were looking for sales since back here. Like this went off nicely, played off. It didn't go completely, went up again. This was one of the last type of trades that I sent. Dropped immediately just to reverse, then dropped obviously, and then, well, you guys can see. So that one definitely hurt. So I was like, yo, like I literally hit a sell. It hit stop loss, and then it went up like three, four more up, and then it just died completely down, right? And that's when I said gold literally got me last point of the week where I was like, you know what, I'm done for the week. We'll see what happens. So really, I need to wait to see what happens as far as London and what happens tomorrow with news. Will we get these clean moves again? If we get these nice clean moves again, that gold should be doing like what we happened down here in this drop, what happened here, what happened here, I will gladly and happily send tap the trades for gold. Good stuff, trade it. If it does what it did last week, pretty much what it did here, I'm probably not even going to touch gold for the rest of the week, and I'm just going to focus on NAS on the TradexMastery side and NQ on the future side, you know what I mean? Which is the same thing. Just because gold, like I said, it's at that weird spot. Hopefully, which this is crazy, guys, for me to say this, right? I know this is a weird one. Hopefully gold goes up. You guys know I don't like buying gold, but just like Rich is saying, if we get at least gold to respect one thing, like respect gold, even if that means you're going to go bullish and I don't like buying, just respect. Like respect it, play it nice, bounce off this change of character, go up to the next low high, then give us some bounces, and decide whatever you want to do, either continue going up or down, but just open up clear on gold. So we should see a possibility of it going all the way back to that 2700. We have that, or even making a new high of 2710. Lots of zones to break through for sure. Previous day high, as we could see, was 2690. So we have some room there to go for sure upward. And then downward, I mean, we definitely have that. If it breaks, we're seeing that 2640 and then just continue to going on and on. Because if we just went and dialed zoom out, when you zoom out completely, you could see all of the action that we had back here. Like all of these trades that we actually end up clearing out, that we were right, like all these good ones. So we can head back into this area, and this is what I would like. Like this is my happy time right here. This is where I would like to, because here's where I thrive the most at that point, and here's where I like to play, because that's where gold moves. The bears kick in, but if not, we'll let it go up. But once it goes up, it has to come down. So that's it for me for gold.
All right, cool, man. Let's jump straight into Nas. So we're getting into my favorite now, and then we'll talk some cryptos as well. I mean, honestly though, crypto, I don't know. Unless let me just get a heads up, Brent. Are you gonna be talking about anything really crypto related, or?
But when I May, April, May, it'll be at $4. That's all I gotta say for that.
Yeah, like crypto right now, like we already kind of told you guys the plays, I guess, so it's just a matter of like waiting now, like we talked about it a lot the last couple of weeks because it was like at a crucial juncture, like where we were finally starting to see Bitcoin rip, and like these coins that Brand and Armin and everybody were calling, XRP, just everything, XLM, like everything was tripling, quadrupling in these last couple of weeks, but now we've kind of like stabilized a little bit. So it's just kind of letting the plays develop, I know that our min has a list that he dropped, to let you guys know what's the December list that you guys need to go and make sure you tap in with him to get. We have the Krypton Academy stuff coming out as well. Brent has called great stuff with Ada as well. I told you guys about ApeCoin. We were like in profit like immediately when we talked about it. We went for a nice rally. Obviously, crypto had its like flash. I wouldn't say a crash, but it was like like a mini crash or whatever. And now we've kind of recovered back above entry, and we're heading bullish now that Bitcoin is also recovering. So like for the most part, this is gonna take a while, guys. Like if we even if we talk about it once a week, these are plays that like when it goes, it goes, but there's gonna be times where we just gotta literally like let it sit there. And we
Yeah.
talk about this because, like we already do so much day trading, indices, gold, what futures, whatever, that's what keeps us active. The crypto stuff is, I mean, at least the way I do it and the way you see us talk about it is this is a secondary type of income that's more of an investment than it is trading. And so your timeline, your expectations, your management is just that's a different way of doing things, like this is background play money for me personally, Um that's just the way I see it, So just keep that in mind. If you're new to crypto and like you see these people talking about crazy money super fast, well, the money gets made super fast whenever we have those huge impulses. But then after those huge impulses, it could be weeks, months of like sideways movement, and that's just the way it is, I mean, if you put your money into an index fund, you're looking for 10% a year usually. So,
Not even.
you
Like,
know,
not even. That's being grateful at that point, not even. But no, crypto set it and forget it. That's the best thing how
yeah,
I see
set
it.
and
Like
forget for
I
sure.
put myself on Coinbase, not that I'm like promoting them or anything like that. I just don't know better. So I put myself on Coinbase, right? And I have notifications. So like it'll
Hmm.
tell me XLM is up so much percent and it shows you there 42 cents. Okay, cool, whatever. The moment I see the notification and it says $4, I'll be like, oh, let me hurry up, get in
Time
there
to
and
get
do
out.
what I gotta do. Because everything I have right now is just all pure profit. So I don't even have to worry about pulling out what I invested in this and that. So really that's all it is, guys. Get it to when it gets to the point to where you could it doubled up, pull your investment, set it and forget it, follow the plan, follow the educators for sure. Biggest thing that I will kind of say on the crypto side that I just remembered right now, it'll be super fast, is Rich and I, we've seen this before, right? We've been in this side. So you see the wave of Bitcoin, then you say altcoins, and then at the same time, meme coins kind of squeeze in. Armin is good at meme coins. Luis is good at meme coins. Like make sure you're following educators, whatever, that know what they've been doing. Because right now, most likely, like every year, you're about to see 1,000,001 meme coins all over the place. It's going to be super attractive. And a lot of those are rug pulls and you're going to get screwed. Like a lot of recent ones that already happened. There was one that got rugged in 3 minutes or less. So you guys got to be careful with that. But at the same time, don't be fearful. Just make sure you're in the proper place, proper education, risk what you could allow to or you could afford to lose. But meme coin season is about to pop up if it goes through its normal cycle, and that's just another play that we could take. But like I said, I'm just waiting once Armin or Luis says, "Hey, this meme coin, I'll put in what I could afford to lose. I'll run with it and that's it. But outside of that, I won't get trapped in anything else.
Yeah. So I want to bring something to you guys' attention as well, right? This is something that obviously we're all, like a lot of all traders are kind of connected in a way. Like you always, network with people doing the same stuff you do. And this was a really great point as far as like a market sentiment indicator when it comes to crypto is every bull run where like crypto went crazy, Coinbase jumps to like the number one app. Like it's done it twice where every time there's a massive bull run, Coinbase jumps to like the number one free app. And right now it's at 86. So from a market sentiment perspective, it means that crypto is still ready to perhaps like it's gonna be rallying into 2025. When we see Coinbase hit the number one on the App Store and you start seeing crypto apps dominating like the top 5, top 10, that's when you have to be very careful and consider pulling profits. That's kind of like a little cheat code for you guys to understand what's called like the fear and greed cycle. Like this is a beautiful thing that I forget. Like I remember, like I know these things like the back of my head, but I forget that sometimes like we have so many new people that don't know this stuff. Um, Wall Street market psychology. And this is like such a simple thing, but an important thing to know. Like this chart, like I feel like everybody has seen this if you've been trading for a little bit. But this is literally the cycle of like people's mindset when it comes to like looking at a market where you go from disbelief to hope to belief to euphoria. And then eventually it turns into anxiety, panic, depression. So it's like if you're not emotionally controlled and understanding of markets, you will go through this whole like emotional curve right here. And this is really like how Bitcoin, like if you look at this, because crypto is dominated by retail until these last couple of years where, institutions have really stepped in and put massive liquidity into things like Bitcoin, especially, right? Um, Let me see the chat. So do you pull all and then wait to put back in? I mean, that's such a general thing to say, to be quite honest with you. Like, it's not that simple. Like you have Bitcoin, then you have altcoins, then you have meme coins. So it's like there's not a one shoe fits all way of doing that. And at the end of the day, like we talk about so many different topics that I'd rather save those. I'd rather say like you want to really look at those questions with somebody like Armin or some of the people that are really like in the crypto heavy because yeah, I've been trading for 6 years. Yeah, I've invested in crypto since 2018, literally. Like I got my Cash App banned because of how much I was into Bitcoin when it was like very early on. But that is to say that like there's a lot of strategies, dollar cost averaging. Like I can get into so much. Like you have when the Krypton Academy comes out, that's what I'm gonna tell you. You got to plug into the Krypton Academy because it's gonna really answer a lot of those questions. But in general, you want to be looking at investing into not just crypto, but a lot of things when there's pessimism and a lack of belief in something. As long as that thing you're investing in actually has utility and potential at minimum. And even then, you still have to understand that you can lose all your money. Like that's the way you got to approach it, right? But, even things like Bitcoin, like in 2022, it went from 70 almost to 15, 16K a Bitcoin. Nobody cared about talking about Bitcoin when it was at 16K again. But hello, that was like the best time to get in because right now you'd be 10x on your money. And it's not about just the 10x because again, the crypto stuff and doesn't have to be just crypto. It's just crypto is what's hot right now again, and what has these big R like these big return potentials is like if you look at an altcoin, like the ones that we've been talking about, you had Cardano, you had XLM, like these things. XRP I would say is more major, but even then, like they tripled, quadrupled in a matter of a month. Like that's unheard of, right? So sometimes people think because they just don't understand how the investing works, that if you get into Bitcoin at 16K right now, you're a millionaire. It's like, no, not really. I mean, it depends how much you put in. At the end of the day, 16 to 100K is less than a 10x. So if you had 1,000, you'd be sitting at like 9,000 something dollars. I mean, it's great, but you just got to look at the multiplier effect, right? And so crypto, like Bitcoin right now, is just really become digital gold. If you ask me, my opinion, it's like become a massive storage of wealth for institutions, big investors. It's a safe alternative asset to gold. Really is how it is being treated, right? But then you have all these other altcoins that we can talk about utility, we can talk about their place in society. At the end of the day, they're speculative assets right now. At least that's how I treat it, right? It's, hey, I can put $1 into a lot of things. I can put $1 into some kid on the street that says, if you give me $1, I know I'm gonna build the coolest lemonade stand and I'll give you back $10. It's literally the same thing. Like it could be a kid off the street that I give $1 to and he gives me back 10. These are just speculative assets when I talk about ApeCoin, when I talk about Filecoin, when we talk about XLM, whatever. So there's a time and place for things as like long-term investments that you have as a storage of wealth that grows over time, which is what a lot of people have done with 401ks, retirement plans, and the indexes like the S&P 500, right? So you guys, at the end of the day, man, like even though you listen to us for like trading mentorship and stuff, we're not financial advisors. Like you probably, if you have money, you probably should get a financial advisor. You really should understand how to, divide your capital into different purposes and all these things. And I'm saying because I have a background in banking for 8 years almost, and I've seen people that have made a lot of money lose a lot of money, and they don't even know what the hell they're doing with their money, and that's not the place you want to be in. So at the end of the day, guys, what we're doing here in akashx and with trading is helping you multiply and like quantum leap. That's really the point of trading. It's not to take you from eating dirt to becoming successful. Yes, there's a lot of rags to riches stories, and that's amazing to see, but that's like less than 1% of people that actually pull that off. I would just be honest with you. So if you believe you're that person, whatever, then go for it. I'm just letting you know though, most successful traders is because they make money from multiple sources of income, even if it's a job, this, that, whatever, and they've understood that you can, double, triple, 10x, whatever your money in these different things that we talk about. And that's what jumps you into tiers of income. So just like you gotta make sure you understand the game. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if Brent, you want to give your 2 cents on that real quick before we jump into Nas, but I felt like that was kind of a little ramble because we're not really gonna talk about cryptos
It-
after
it-
this.
it's needed and it's important right now based off where we're headed towards, or at least like you said, what we speculate because we've been around what we're headed towards and we know what you guys could potentially run into, right? So it's just letting you know, hey, there's gonna be a little pebble on the road there. You might want to lift your foot. That's completely on you if you don't or you do, right? Or just kind of giving you that advice. If it happens, to happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? But it's good. Just more importantly, stay focused. And I love that analogy, right? What you're saying too, because that's why I always say, look at the lotto. What's the percentage of people that hit the lotto, and then what's the percentage of people that hit it and maintain that status? Somebody will come in and get 500, $900 million 3 months later, they're bankrupt and broke, like on the street. It happens. That's why I believe so much of the law of polarity. Anytime you feel stuck, you've been here for a while, and you're like, man, I've been here for 2 weeks, bro. I haven't made no money. Like, bro, it's it's normal. It's gonna happen. And then for you that said, hey,
2 weeks, bro. Not
I've been
enough
here for
time, bro.
6 months and nothing's been happening. Well, hey, like law of polarity. It's gonna take you that long of suck for that long of glory. It's just part of it. So just understand it's part of the process and it's better for you to struggle and go through it because then you'll actually stabilize and last longer into this game. And that's what we all want to see. I know 100% Rich and I, that's all we want for you guys. That's what we do, what we do here. Like we said before, this isn't a akashx call, isn't nothing. Like literally Rich and I said this for a long time. Hey, we should do this. Like because we literally want everybody to learn and to do as much as possible and again become independent and live off this like we do. And it's an amazing, amazing life. So just you don't lose until you quit. So just keep on pushing and it's going to be a great, great time. Even if you don't have the funds right now for this bull run, guess what? There'll be another one. But when the next one comes through, guess what you have now? You have knowledge. And that's what really gives you power at that point is knowledge. So let's get to mass.
Mic drop. All right. Real quick, too, guys. If you were not on the last couple of weeks of calls, I know like, holidays and stuff, people got a lot of stuff on their mind, whatever. We created this website called akashxlaunch.com. Myself, Brent, Armin. I want to give a special shout out to Armin too, because he took a lot of initiative in it for sure. But obviously, Brent, myself, everybody contributed to the content on here. What this is just a onboarding tool, right? Whether you're a leader, whether you're a customer, whether you have one person, three people, 100 people, this is something that is akashx branded. It is created only by official educators on staff that understand the app, understand trading, understand everything to help you become successful. Mostly in your first like month, especially your first 48 hours. It's just giving people their first steps of when they join, how to plug into the official community chats for akashx, how to navigate the app, back office, risk management, tap to trade, trade alerts, like literally anything that even if you have been here for a little bit, but you're still like maybe a little shaky on some like simple things, go through akashxlaunch.com, utilize this content because I mean it's free. Like it's literally here. And sometimes, like especially my people in here that want to go like three and free or whatever, and you're like, well, I don't really have an upline. I don't really have, mentors working with me and my people. Like I don't know what to do. Guys, make it easier for yourself. Leverage tools, right? Don't try to make everything happen by yourself. Just direct people to the right information in the right places. That's what all the best leaders do. They don't try to teach everybody everything by themselves because you will get burnt, literally. You just have to leverage tools. So we took our time to make these videos very simple, very clear, very cool. So if you want to use it, cool. If not, cool. But akashxlaunch.com, I recommend it. All right. So let's jump into NAS here real quick, okay? Now I'm gonna talk about this for like just 2 seconds because I don't want to spend a whole time here. I've noticed that in the last like couple days, Trade Locker kind of changed a little bit the prices for not just NAS, but even like US 30, some of the indices. I haven't checked Bitcoin. I think gold is still kind of the same. So, and I'll talk about this on my sessions specifically, like a little bit more, just so people are on the same page. Because I know that a lot of people do use Trade Locker, are on TradeX. But yeah, like the prices on the broker I usually look at, which is FXCM, and what's showing right now on Trade Locker are like different numbers, which at the end of the day is not a big deal because I mean, if I've been doing this for 2 years just in akashx itself, and people have been taking my trades in akashx for a while, and we've like lately is when we finally got the numbers to actually be almost the same. But for the longest, the numbers weren't even close anyways. So it's not like new. The only thing I don't like is that on Trade Locker, like on NAS right now, the structure is like up here instead of right here. Like it already made like a new higher high, and right here it's just kind of like at equal highs. So it's gonna be a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like for me, with just looking at what other charts, because I went through chart after chart on TradingView to see. Again, I'm not looking at the prices. I'm just looking at the market structure to be like on par. So I'll do some more research. We'll figure it out. It's not gonna. I don't think it's really gonna be a big deal at the end of the day. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I already had some people ask me. So yeah, there's some stuff with trade lockers changing with their charts, but for all my new people that are like less than a year in, dude, honestly, charts are gonna change. Like especially with forex, futures when you get real time pricing, things like that, it's a little bit different. But forex brokers, because yeah, we're trading indices, but it's like forex trading, right? Those things are always gonna shift. Things are gonna change. Like we weren't even on Trade Locker until 2024. And that means I did 5 years of MetaTrader. So I've only been on Trade Locker for a year. So the same way we pivot after 5 years of doing something, you'd think I'd freak out. And it was not a big deal. We transferred to Trade Locker, kept it pushing, charts are charts, money's money, whatever. So I just wanted to address that because I know some people are gonna ask. So I'd rather just get ahead of it and just tackle it head on. All right. So what's up with NAS? So overall, weekly, we are still very bullish. This is gonna be, so we had one pullback week, but for the most part, like for the last several months, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullish weeks, one bearish week, another bullish week, another bearish week. So basically in the last like couple months, we've only really had like two bearish weeks. Okay. So we're looking like we're still on par to continue that. As you see, we already opened up Sunday, pushing up slightly. You guys know that I pay a lot of attention to wicks, right? Like the importance of looking at wicks. Wicks are gonna tell us a lot about how price tries to go one way, ends up rejecting and continuing the other way. So when we do get pullbacks on the weekly, we're gonna head back into 21,600. 21,600, I'm like pretty damn certain we're gonna get there. And usually we'll get there earlier in the week, right? So if we're gonna continue this bullish cycle that I think overall we will, we'll eventually, like whether it's tomorrow, we have a lot of news too, so we're gonna get the volume to do it. I think we'll come down to 21,600, somewhere in that vicinity from 21,600 to 21,400. That we have to look at the smaller time frames, but at least 21.6, I'm very confident we'll come revisit that. And if we're going to continue bullish for the week, that means that that's going to be like the lows of the week, maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, whatever. And then we'll rally up again to end Thursday, Friday with another bullish, finish. But that's just like my speculation at the beginning of the week, just to keep that in mind. The smaller time frames, we saw that on the 4 hour, 1 hour. We had that crazy day where like price like gapped up like 1,000 pips during market close. I don't know if you guys remember that. Um, but that was pretty crazy how we ended that. And where we're at right now, personally, I still think that this imbalance area is something of my focus. We were looking for the sells. We were in sells for a while. We saw those drops here, ended up rejecting and coming back up, right? So overall, I still think that price will want to come down to this imbalance area at around 21,500, which kind of goes on par with what I was thinking for the week, right? Where we're expecting price to come down. And then once we get into that area, that could be a continuation of this overall trend. But let's see. For the most part, you guys know I'm looking at the Asian range for breaks and fakes anyways. So I have to let this kind of develop until 1 a.m. Eastern today and see where we're at. Personally, when we just came off of like rallying this big move, pullback, rallying a big move, pullback, and now we're kind of pushing up. I prefer if we end up Asian range something like this for us to pop up above, reject, and then let that be that big meltdown into that 21,500 area. That is like my play of the week. Like what I'm waiting for is a massive sell-off after we look like we're gonna continue that bullish momentum, reject. And I know that Brent will probably beat me to it if anything as well. Because when the sells kick in, you already know that's like Brent sniffs that out like a hound, bro. So keep an eye out on that. Again, everything technically is pointing bullish right now, but that's what I love. I love when things are showing one way and we wait for that fake out and drop. That's what I'm really looking for to kind of start the week. So that's it for Nas on my side. I'll let Brent do his thing too and see what's up.
Oh yeah, we like the sales. We like our bears 100%, bro. You already know it. So with NAS, similar situation, right? So as far as the drops, I love it to drop. It needs to break the 21,800. I know right now with everything changing right now, just like Chris mentioned, I use the US 100 cash CDF by Vantage. That's the one that I usually chart off on TradingView. But when I live trade, we're just in TradeX and that's it, period, right? We're in Trade Locker with TradeX, it is what it is. Or we're in futures, it doesn't matter because we just scalp it right then and there. But for the alert side of things, that's where you want to kind of go off. Now, I needed to break 21,800, test it to drop to that next level, right? 21,700, break it, drop it to that 21,650, 630, break it, drop it. It could ultimately what I could see it coming down to is this 21,360, like really nice area for it to come down to based off what we're looking at here. Literally what Rich is saying, right? Like I'm seeing those levels for those reasons, right? We're seeing the same thing. We just see different reasons, different numbers. That's the reason to the drop. Now, if this were to break and continue, as I've mentioned, a strong number based off, like I went way back, looked at structures, because something that I like doing I don't know if even this probably has like a actual studious name, scientific name to it, but you tend to see NAS do like, okay, it likes to do movements to this and this. So what's the distance between here and here? So if it did this, then it goes to here and here. Like my logic just says that common sense isn't common. The logic isn't. I've done that for a long time with NAS, and it's always worked out for me when I look for those like new highs. Because when there's a new high, we don't know where it's going to because nothing has happened, right? But I like to see as far as that. staring at NAS for the past whatever 4 years, whatever, you start learning what it likes to do, right? When it likes to make those rallies, kind of what distance it does. So I feel we can really get close to that 2300. Obviously, that's really far away right now, but that 2300 is still a number that I feel we could touch. And if crypto keeps on doing what it's doing, companies keep on adopting it, and therefore NAS has to continue going up. So everything that goes up has to come down first, right? It has to grab that impulse. I would be careful selling right now. I would wait till that 2200 just because it's an institutional number. Technically, it only needs to go up to 21,930 and then it could dare drop because that's that high. That's that high. Make a little wick to fake everybody out and then drop. But I might wait just a little bit for that institutional number just to make sure it doesn't want to tap that low number and then drop. But I would love to see this come down. If it just keeps on going up to going up, then it's gonna, like I've said before, it's just gonna get boring. Because then it's just gonna be going up, up, up. And we could wait from little tiny pullbacks and sure we could buy and do that. But that's really boring for me. I like to wait for those reversals, those points, get onto that high. I like those sniper sells that we've gone into. Last week we went 4-0. We're just gone 6-0 this month. Like those are those points that we really like to grab now. So I'm not touching it right now, although it's tempting. You know what I mean? Like if you look at it, it's tempting, but I'm not. I'm waiting at least for that 2200 to respect there, have us come down, and those are all the levels that I'm looking at for it to drop. Once it drops, then we continue going it up. And I already mentioned right now with at the beginning of the call, right? The news. We have a lot of news, guys. A lot of news, and a lot of this will be heavy towards NASA. Although they're not technical stuff, it's still the investment side of stuff. Like we're just saying, like a lot of people are using now Bitcoin as an asset, stuff like that, right? So a lot of people have invested their money in VOO. They have their must invested money into these different stocks, these dividends and all this other stuff, whatever, for like 401ks and all that good stuff, right? For mutual funds and all this boring stuff. So they have their money there, which that can make that distraction to pull and drop over here too. So interesting time. Excited for the news. So we could definitely hit either that high or we could come for that full retrace where we need to go all the way down to, thanks to the news that we have this week. So I'm excited for this week for sure for NAS more than gold. Gold, it just depends really what it does tomorrow. I think over London and tomorrow on news, if it really just respects London, respects news, then we'll have a good week with gold. But NAS definitely has a lot of good reasons, and where it's sitting at, it's just perfect. It's at that peak right now, guys. Like that's what like we're excited for because it's literally there. Like if we get that respect for that drop, guys, oh, that's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna definitely ride that one all the way down for sure. But if it levels and goes up, that means it just built a very strong support for us. Very strong line now that we can bounce securely, confidently say, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy. Even myself, I don't like to buy. If it respects where it's at right now above that 22, I will confidently buy. Something that I don't like doing, but it's just because now the structure that it's built right now is so strong. So really good, really happy to see NAS doing what it's doing right now, which is December 15th. Kind of crazy for NAS to be doing what it's doing. So hey, bless that. We've asked for abundance and NASA's giving it to us. So let's keep on getting it.
Yeah, no, bro. Last week, man, sheesh. Like so many moves. Like so many moves. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much what we got as far as observing some of the different markets, guys. We have again only really 2 weeks for the rest of the year. I know for sure like the last week we'll see. I mean, technically, this is my first year like going all in with like Nas and Liberty, so we'll see. I'll look at last year and see how it did, but I think for the most part, like just don't expect crazy stuff. At least the last week of the year. In fact, I'll talk about this with Brent, and we'll see if we do it or how we're gonna do something. But I always like at the end of the year to kind of have like a real big like mindset type of call. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Maybe we do it as a whole akashx thing. I don't know, but I just know that like setting the tone for the year is very important, and you don't want to wait for like January 1st. We usually like to get ahead of that as quickly as possible. I think now is a little too early, but I think somewhere like the 20 something after Christmas is usually like when I like to like be ready, like 26, 27, 28. We got to see if that falls like on a Sunday. I think Christmas lands on, is it like a Wednesday or something like that?
We have the 21st, which is no, we have the 22nd, and then we have the 29th. So
29th
those
is
are
a
the next two.
Sunday?
We have the next two Sundays is the 22nd and 29th.
Oh man. Bro, 29 sounds pretty good. I don't know what plans you got. We'll talk about it.
Bro, mindset call, bro. You already know I'm down.
Oh yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, not just like a motivational call, guys, but like
No, no,
really,
no.
really like
Yeah.
game planning, like yo, like the like how we're gonna really make things happen in 2025. Like I think that's a really important thing because like what we do here on Sunday Market Outlooks every week is just prepare you guys with possible scenarios for a couple different assets for the week. And it just gets you into the habit of not looking at a chart on a Monday morning with crusty eyes, like, oh, let's see what money we make. Like, that's a bad way to start. You want to do that on Sunday. You want to be at least subconsciously prepared for a potential move. Like, just being a little bit ahead of the game always makes a difference. And I think that the same way we do that on Sundays for each week, you want to do that for the whole year ahead of time from a macro perspective, because if all we do is just, and I'm guilty of this, that's why I want to be the first one to do these type of calls, is like you can easily fall into like the day to day, like we can wake up and just get to the day, right? But like people don't really make time to evaluate like did you even make a goals checklist for 2024? And I think like in the network marketing space, like it's such a cultural thing to write goals and so it's like the amount of people doing that is a lot higher than if we were just like in the public with a bunch of people that wanted to learn how to trade. It'd probably be a lot lower of a number. But nonetheless, like, what's your list of goals? How much did we actually get done this year out of everything we said we were gonna do? And it's not to like put you down or to like, it's not about patting yourself on the back or even getting mad at yourself more than it is to just like keep in the back of your like to keep in the front of the mind, like, what do you really want out of life? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, everybody here has a reason why the hell you're doing this business, you know? And if you don't really know what that is, it doesn't matter how many outlook calls you get on. It doesn't matter how many trades you get on. Like you're just shooting in the wind and trying to land somewhere. And I mean, success leaves clues. Like just people don't operate like that. They know what they want and get somewhere. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's the type of vibe we're trying to capture, maybe on like the 29th. I think that will probably be a pretty cool day. We'll talk about it between me and Brent because I know if we get everybody involved, it'll probably be a whole akashx thing, and we probably will have something like that. But I think it would be cool if we had one us too.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it. Yeah, man, that's just some thoughts I had in my head. I've been thinking about that. But yeah, man, I mean, if you guys see my demeanor a little bit different these next 2 weeks, is not that I'm not trying to like go hard to end the year. Like if it wasn't for you guys, like I'd probably literally not even take a trade for the rest of the year. I'm gonna be honest. Like when you do this for 6 years, it's like, you know, but I'll push myself to really see how much more we can get out of the year. But I just know like my mindset, it's not about turning off into holiday mode. I'm just not like that. Like I don't work like that. I love what I do, so I'm always gonna grind. It's just a different mode that you switch your brain to be like more planning and getting ready for the next chapter and reflecting a little bit. You gotta know your seasons, guys. If you don't ever take the time to show gratitude to yourself and to like celebrate a little bit and just like have a purpose, you're gonna get burned out. So I'm gonna shut up a little bit, but that's kind of like my thoughts, right? So I'll let Brent any last minute words, bro, before we head up out of here and
No,
we get the week started.
I like it for sure, bro. I'm down, and it makes sense for what you're saying, right? And I love that. I forgot somebody, Didi said that, right? Deanne wrote that intentional, right? Like we have informational calls, and we need to have that intentional call. And I think that's really what gets down to it, to where we've had these calls Sunday, 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 Sunday. So we need to end the year correctly, and that would be really the way. I told you guys the first call that we had of the month. I said, get your list, right? Rewrite your list, look in the mirror. I told you guys for a reason. Like Rich and I, we do a lot of this stuff, right? It's just these calls we don't want to confuse them into a sense or make it like, okay, is this marketing? Is this trading? This is a Sunday outlook call. But then again, like I've told you guys a lot of times, either you get your 3 on free or you make some money on the side so you don't have to worry about paying your monthly bill. There's little things like that. Trading is the easiest, most difficult thing to do, right? It's mindset. Like you have to keep strong. Like Rich is giving you amazing books. Like we always throw these little nuggets here and there in these calls for you guys for a reason. Because again, we've been through it and we know how important it is. So I'm 100% down. to close out the year that way, have the last Sunday outlook call be more for that intention, really to make sure you guys are set correctly. So the last week of the last Sunday of the year, you guys have what you need to have ready prep. So when you do get your gatherings and everybody starts talking about, oh, I need to get my list. Let's sit down. I need to do this. My goals being like, done. Like I'm already 5 days into my goals for 2025 and we're not even there yet. That's the whole purpose of it, getting ahead of the game. That's it, guys. That's all that it is. That's all you have to
Yeah.
do 100%. Just get to it. So we'll definitely do it together. There's a lot that Rich and I have been through we could share with you guys to make sure that we all start off with the right foot and we all get what we need to get done 2025 because it's done, guys. It's done. It's there for sure. We
Yeah.
have everything that we need, bro. So we have to consistently be consistent. That's what I've been saying constantly. Because same thing, like December for me, like guys, for a reason, I bought a new 50K last week and we passed it. We did 6%. For a reason, I'm buying another one. I'm done. Just like Rich said, like I've been done. Like, but we obviously have that responsibility with you guys to keep pushing too. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing to still stay in the game. If it was up for me too, like as much as I love trading. I would still go in there and probably pop one trade just for the fun of it. But I want to make sure I sit down, analyze what did I do right, what did I do wrong, what could I have done differently. It's not just remap everything, understand where we're going to, paint the picture of where we're going. Like it's more of that type of season, right? You said it perfectly there. It's more of that type of season right now we need to focus on. So hit your goals for the day, as you know, on your trading, risk your percentage, make your percentage, but make sure you are very intentional. Again, that important word, right? You're intentional with the rest of your day. Any moment you have, just sit down, recap everything that happened. Again, what do you want? What do you need to do? All that good stuff. Start doing that now. Start writing down some notes on your phone, all that good stuff. Just make sure that you're starting to do that now every single day versus just being stuck on the charts for 25 hours of the day, right? You know what I mean? So
Yo, that
that,
mindset call, we're gonna go crazy on it, bro. Watch.
yep. So let's get excited for that one for sure.
Yeah.
Make sure you use your
So we
account
got two
launch
weeks, 2 weeks.
two
In
weeks.
2 weeks we'll do it.
We got 2 weeks to make it good prep, and I'll get some like a fog smoker in here and everything. We'll get a little mini stage.
Oh damn, bro.
We'll
We're
go
gonna
all
go
out.
all out.
No,
We're
no.
gonna plan it. We're gonna plan it. We're gonna plan
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But no, for real. Just make sure you guys are tapping in, following your goals, get your 3 and free, get your akashxlaunch.com. Use that, of course. Anything you need from me guys, you already know where we're at. You can find us. Let's get it.
For sure. I saw a question from Mike about like passing challenges with risk management. At the end of the day, you guys can find like our top tier content is always through akashx itself, whether it's our educator training series, live sessions. I have made stuff on my YouTube about like TradexMastery specifically. Like if you've never, like if you're doing your first challenge ever, watch this video, whatever. So you guys can find that because I'm gonna post the recordings of this call that you guys can pass on to your teams or to anybody that missed it, and you can find that there. But again, like just live sessions, educator training series, and then on YouTube you'll find a couple things. That's what I would say for that question. But definitely, guys, we'll see y'all throughout the sessions this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays when we run our typical, me and Brent go back to back now in the mornings. So we'll definitely see you guys on there. We have Red Folder news all week. We got a mindset call that we're prepping now for in the next 2 weeks. If you guys haven't seen, get the TradexMastery accounts are 30% off with the promo code Santa30. All right. So make sure you guys, stack up on some fundeds, whatever the case is, while they're cheaper. Um, that's really it for now. So I'll let y'all go. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. Brent, thank you for always, bro. Like let me tell you, bro. I would love to do these calls regardless, with or without anybody, but like it's special to do it with somebody who like always shows up, And I always text you like, "Hey, Sunday market outlook," and you're like, "Yes, I'm down." I'm like, "All right, bet." Like our attendance record is, bro. Like the times that we haven't done it is because we're in Dubai or like,
We're on a plane. We're on a plane, literally. Like that's why.
So guys, get yourselves accountability buddies, whoever it is, like get somebody who like is always in the trenches with you, man. I think that helps so much. So thank you, bro, for being that person for me since really day one in akashx, man.
Hey,
But yeah, guys, much love. See y'all. The recording will be posted in like maybe 30 minutes. And as we always say, let's run it up.